Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the LCS Challengers League, where we have the match of the day, really. We've got Maryville University versus Team Fish Taco. This one is for all the marbles, and those marbles are known as 8th seed in the playoffs. Whoever gets the upper hand in this series will go to the playoffs. Whoever doesn't, it's knocked down to the promotion and relegation tournament. There's a lot on the line here, guys, and I can't wait to get right into it. Let's actually break down what needs to happen in the results to actually send these teams to 8th seed.
I mean, first thing that comes up right away is going to be the scenario between both of these teams. Supernova is out of playoffs. That's a fact right now. Maryville already have the tiebreak there. For the case of Team Fish Taco, you're in a tight spot, man. You want a 2-0 to get up there to get that last seed. If you don't get it, you're not getting in.
That's exactly right. At this point, if you're a Taco or a Team Fish Taco fan, a 2-0, a straight-out win against Maryville is your only way into playoff and is your only way to avoid the promotion tournament.
Yep. There's another slight thing that's going on here as well. If Team Fish Taco goes 1-1, they are still eliminated from playoffs. However, there will be a tiebreaker at the end of the day on the other stream between Supernova and Team Fish Taco to determine seeding going into the promotion tournament. So there is still something on the line here. Even if Taco does lose the first game, they still definitely want to win the second one. So it's a lot on the line here in this series. Maryville really gunning for at least one of those wins. And let's take a look at the guys over in St. Louis here on Maryville University. You know them, you love them. They've been on the roster for the entire split long, the entire year long, in fact, as they did promote here at the beginning of the split.
They've had such an interesting season as they've gone on, being a first collegiate squad here. I felt like at the start of the season, they were really in the dumps and then had to grow and improve as time went on. But as they found that apex, everyone else caught up with them and kind of passed them up. So now it's about getting to that next stage for Maryville University to no longer be on this massive loss streak that they're currently suffering.
Yeah, it has been tough scenes for Maryville University, to say the least, but they have managed to get some pretty clutch wins against some of our best teams in the league, splitting with teams like TLC, DSG. They 2-0'd FlyQuest during the first round robin, and being our first collegiate squad to make it into Challengers League through that promotion tournament, they've definitely still had some notable wins across the entire split. It's just going to take one more for them to be able to lock in playoffs and stay one split longer.
Just one win between Maryville and that playoff berth, and their opponents today will be the ones that are trying to take that away from them. It is just that battle for the 8th seed. Maryville University going to be playing against Team Fish Taco, a roster that has had a lot of troubles throughout the split as well, gentlemen.
They have, but this is a team that I think have actually been quietly improving through that second round robin along with the rest of the league. The problem just ends up being that everyone is improving a little bit faster, and Taco definitely started from behind. But there's a lot of things to talk about with this team. I mean, O Nation, of course, who had a great performance during the promotion tournament in spring. NXI, the role swap from jungle to support, who's really starting to come into his own. And of course, Spawn, the team fighter we wanted to see more from in terms of his killer instinct, that ability to get in there when it comes to team fighting. And I think we've seen a lot of that from him this split.
And I think it's also been very interesting having this addition of Soul, who's currently subbing, and Lunacia is still part of this roster, but Lunacia was such an aggressive top laner, and switching to Soul makes it what we thought was going to be a bit of a different playstyle. I do think we've been saying a different look at Soul, though, who's going more for Renekton and going more aggressive on to the top lane. So it makes me wonder, what are we really going to get when it comes down to this jungle top matchup?
Some high interest when it comes to that top side of the map, but I think where a lot of our eyes are looking is specifically down bot lane. The supports have been the stars of the show in many of these games, and specifically for Maryville. I think Zyko is that guy a lot of the time.
I agree. I think Zyko is someone who I didn't have the most high hopes for, much like Manui at the beginning of spring. I thought I saw all I was going to see out of a player like him, and I was very happy to be wrong. I think he has been a really big part of Maryville's success, and especially Maryville University, being a team that really do like to fight at several, if not all, stages of the game. Zyko linking up with Oddord has been a big instrumental part of the success we've seen from Maryville.
I've been pretty hyped up on Zyko for a bit before he actually got into the NACL, and that was from a lot of what he was doing in the collegiate space, not just in CLAW, but in a lot of these other tournaments we have, like Gateway, like Los Angeles Comic-Con. He was beasting plays to roam up into the mid lane and just decimate people's days. Zyko can play like a psycho sometimes, and I do think he's a big bright spot for Maryville's roster.
I gotta quickly say, my favorite thing that I heard from Jensen Go when he coached over at Maryville is that legend has it, Zyko's Pike can gank 2 lanes at the same time. To this day, I don't know what that means, but maybe he'll lock in Pike and he'll make it happen.
Ooh, that would be a very fun time, but it's going to be tough against the other side of the map because Team Fish Taco's bottom lane has been one that we've also had our eyes on, specifically talking about NXI. You know, this guy, jungle role swap into this position. We had a lot of questions for how well that would actually go, and I've actually been pleasantly surprised. He's got some pretty strong mechanics in some of these champions.
And a lot of this is like, it's not the spawn that we had from Spring, the spawn who's just waiting to get to the team fight phase to really perform over there. We're seeing Spawn suddenly take these really risky angles that a Spawn from, you know, a season ago really wouldn't go for. And now you have NXI who's still also looking to grow and develop into his space that from that role swap when he was in jungle didn't have the best look very early on being in this new role for support. But you're starting to see now that he's locking down champions that he does perform well on, Rakan being one of those, of course. And it's growth for both of these players that is very positive.
Yeah, and I gotta add really quickly to the Spawn point, it's really nice to see that development from a player like him, especially considering how things have gone for him in his career. He was playing LCS, remember, then Challengers League, and now he's here on Team Fish Taco. But I love when players are able to take that and fuel that and focus on improvement. It's something I said a lot about Insanity in the last year when he played from 100 Next and then moved over to Dignitas. And where is he now? TSM, LCS, and a big reason for them success. I love to see that kind of trajectory and motivation from these players.
The story of these players has been very fun to watch, and the story of this series is one that we all have a keen eye on. Huge stakes for the playoffs, and the looming threat of getting relegated is on both sides of the rift today. We're going to find out who actually finds that big success in the playoffs in just a little bit as we take it over to the draft. Let's go.
I want to take one more time to reiterate to the audience the stakes of this game.
Yeah.
If Team Fish Taco want to get into playoffs, they need a 2-0. Maryville just need to take one game.
That's right, and that's the thing. So much pressure there on Team Fish Taco, who I still believe have been improving a good bit throughout the back half of Summer Split. It is a tough ask. I mean, Maryville, momentum is not on their side. They've gone 0-2 for several series in a row these last couple of weeks, and it has just been a really tough time for this collegiate roster, and this could be the moment where they turn it around, and they do have, even though momentum's not with them, the standings are with them. They just need one game where Team Fish Taco need 2.
And a reminder, it's been since week 4, the tail end of week 4, that this loss streak did begin for Maryville University. And now is the time to turn it around because it is the last chance. And again, they only need one. They only need one win for that security into playoffs and to be in the NACL guaranteed coming spring 2024, which would feel really good. Of course, it was our first collegiate squad to get into here, but they're against our beloved Team Fish Taco, of course, one of our older teams from the amateur era of LOL Esports.
Right.
And now as we get into this draft and take a closer look at some of the bands coming in, Kindred, as well as Rel and Nico, all going to be taken away by Maryville University. That is the last one we're always waiting for as a ban against MU. Pantheon, MU instantly grabbed the tryst.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, the Kindred from Rosethorn, a big thing you can't let go through. I mean, it's been a big pick there, the Tristana, for a lot of teams. And I think even with mid laners who have been struggling, Tristana is that kind of champion where it seems like it's just working for everybody, especially with how strong she is. And I gotta say, despite the struggles of Maryville University, I think Get Back has been playing quite solidly. So on a pick like this, he could have that impact, unless, of course, it goes over to Scary Jerry.
Yeah. Scary Jerry, has been an interesting ride throughout the NACL because early on, Scary Jerry felt like he was going to be outclassed by a lot of these other marksmen and was able to find his confidence at some point where you started to see Scary Jerry's performance boost up. So Scary Jerry being against Team Fish Taco, I wonder what the mood is going to be, if this is going to be the trash talk, I'm way better than you, Scary Jerry, that's going to show up on the Rift and look to try and deconstruct spawn in NXI.
He's going to have to. Scary Jerry definitely has been on the struggle bus just a little bit and will, I think, need to really put up in this series in particular. Like, I still stand by, like, Team Fish Taco are in a good position here to be able to, there's a chance that they get that 2-0 that they're hoping for. And you can see they've already got some strong picks for themselves in the draft here. I mean, of course, the Kaisa being the mainstay here, the Sejuani coming through, and the Ashe response is interesting. It's not Scary Jerry's first game, but paired with the Maokai, you have so much to play with in terms of CC continuously locking people down, particularly from several screens away. That long range is a good answer there, and it's going to force Team Fish Taco to very likely go for more of a poke build. And there it is, the Jace on top of it. It's going to help solidify that.
Yeah, so lots of heavy poke coming out, and a strong front line by just having this as Ronnie alone, but it is matched, of course, by the front line that is Maokai. I mean, two junglers that I'm honestly going to say we're seeing a little bit too much of now. We got to start shaking this up, man. But so far, double marksman for Maryville University. What this also means with the Ashe, in conjunction with the crowd control that you were talking about, Beatdown, is the ability to track the enemy jungler and see where Rosethorn's going to be.
That's right, and true, the Hawkshot is definitely a really important factor there. Now we get into the second rotation. I like the Milio. It's been a good ban for teams who have more of this composition that is looking for the all-in, because of course you have a lot of poke on Team Fish Taco, but Jace could go in. Sejuani and Kaisa, of course, are also capable of the same. And that's where I imagine a lot of these picks are going to go, or rather these bans are going to go for removing champions that make it a little harder to approach MU. And MU, of course, getting rid of the Renekton for Soul. You highlighted in the pre-show that has been a really good look for him since he's subbed for the roster.
It's weird. Whenever I see Soul step away from that like perma weak side, we actually see some pretty good takes of Soul. Throw you back to that one where EGC just kind of solo queue drafted in game number 2. It was Soul who was on Jax. Yeah, he was on Jax, and he performed really well on that. So, I mean, you're on Team Fish Taco. It's do or die time. I would like to see that out of Soul to go for that more aggressive playstyle nonetheless, even with the Renekton ban.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, there's still going to be options. We could still see that Jax come through again for Soul. He could go the tanky route as well if you want to set up for this team and have more all-in potential. Of course, Sion, really safe blind, is up and available here, and they could just wait to save that last pick there for NXI. But actually, that hover would be really interesting. All right, it is going to be the Rumble lock-in. I mean, the Pantheon is really the only thing that we've seen that can actually deal with it, and the Warwick. But I don't see Niles really locking in either of those champions because Pantheon is banned, and who plays Warwick, man?
And, one of the other counter picks we saw to a Rumble, we actually saw yesterday, it was the Vladimir that got locked in by Team Liquid Challengers. I'm not sure if that's exactly in the playbook for Maryville University, and it doesn't look like that's going to be the case right now. Instead, Niles will play a team fighter, will add to that front line in the Ornn.
Right, and I mean, the Sylas ban really just does allude, because support hasn't been picked up, for the Alistar to come through. So you have a lot, I'm going to say one more time, a lot of CC from Maryville University's side, just at every single role. So there's going to be a lot that Team Fish Taco are working through to actually try and win out on these team fights. The front to back from Maryville University, very good, especially for a team that we know loves to fight almost all the time, Desirx. So they have everything they need to get that one single win that's going to get them into playoffs.
One of the only concerns that you can bring up is the damage profile for Maryville University is rather limited. You got some decent sources of magic poke, but it's mostly just AD driven out of Maryville. And reminder, it is a Sejuani you're going against. There is some strong front line that you will have to get through from Team Fish Taco.
It will make it a little easier for the tanks on the side of Team Fish Taco. They can itemize for the armor primarily, and it will make them tankier, but still the front to back is so strong. The scaling on this team is so good, not just because of the double marksman, but you have Maokai, really strong late game champion, and the Ornn. And I think if you've been watching League of Legends long enough, I don't need to tell you why. That is a fantastic late game champion between the passive, between the ult, and everything like that. This is going to be one of Maryville's best chances, and there is definitely going to be some pressure on Team Fish Taco to be able to overcome it and get that 2-0.
And now we are ready to head into what is going to be one of our most important matches of the day.
Important.
Yes, it is on the line, the final ticket to the dance. If you want to make it to playoffs, Maryville University, Team Fish Taco, we're going to do battle right now. Team Fish Taco looking for the 2-0. Maryville University just need one.
And that one could happen here. We already talked about Maryville and his Team Fish Taco. I mean, you have a strong top lane in Soul playing the Rumble. It is so good in so many different matchups because of the changes we saw from him on 13-12, and it's why he's popping up in pick and ban overall. So there's going to be that lane pressure coming from him. You still have Onat and Spawn, who do offer a lot of poke, can try to, tenderize Maryville a little bit before they try to cook them up.
I want to say right now, if you're fans of Team Fish Taco, if you're fans of Maryville University, let them know in the Twitch chat. Use MU for Maryville University. Use Taco for Team Fish Taco. They need your support. Send them your energy. Figure out which Goku you're rooting for and get ready to try and pile on a Spirit Bomb for them. Because this is as high as it gets in terms of the stakes. And now as we head into the game, we're going to see where our junglers are starting. Red buff start coming out for Rosethorn. Over on the Raptors, it'll be Odd Orange.
And Rosethorn, even getting a leash, actually, from Soul, which you don't often see from junglers. I mean, the last couple of packages, ever since the jungle item change, giving you a little Pokemon to play with. But it does mean that Rosethorn's clear is going to be that much faster, is going to have that opportunity to full clear really quick, or actually spend some time ganking mid in transition. Onat, you want to set him up for success on this Jace pick, and you want to conversely set back Get Back, who is playing the Tristana, which we've seen, no matter who's piloting it, time and time again, to have some amazing performances in plays.
It can be a pain to get away from a Sejuani that's ganking you early. Even with Get Back being on Tristana, a well-timed Arctic Assault can actually disrupt that. And at the moment, you do have Rosethorn who's clearing out his Raptor camp. He's headed into this direction over in the mid lane, where Get Back exchanges alongside Onat. Here comes Rosethorn, coming in for the gank. Wants to find Get Back. Oh, doesn't have the rocket jump just yet. It's the Q and E that are currently up. And now as the level gets picked up by Get Back, unfortunately did lose his flash.
And that's something to punish in the coming minutes there. Already a good start here for Team Fish Tacos. They do need more. Rosethorn is going to, or rather has, used that time he got from the leash very well. And you're going to see, he's just going back to full clearing right on schedule. He's going to be pretty much matched with Odd Orange as they go for opposite scuttles. And another opportunity for a gank there from Rosethorn. He could look for this bottom lane as you see Spawn and NXI trying to prevent this wave shove from coming through.
You see a ping coming out, trying to let Rosethorn, I'm assuming, know that there's a ward over into that brush right now, so Rosethorn won't go for a gank. Instead, reset coming out for Scary Cherry and Zyko. I don't think Rosethorn's been scouted out by any hawk shots just yet. We'll be able to clear his red buff and continue pathing.
Yeah, there's a good chance it was actually the dot brush ward, because when you see Sejuani, it's a good recognition for them to know that.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah, here we go. Fight breaks out. NXI is going to be worse on the exchange.
Yeah.
Falls down to about 200 health, but just a small scrappy.
Right, and I mean, it does prevent the back from coming through. It does keep Zyko and Scary Jerry a little bit longer. And it might actually get a lane free setup coming through here. You could see it, and this is the perfect opportunity for Scary Jerry and Zyko to go for the recall. But they're actually, yeah. Nope, they want to stay. They keep fooling us, man. They're just starting the back animations and then stopping them.
Yeah, and look what's happening. Rosethorn is trying to sneak into this lane at the same exact time, and there's no hawk shot. So NXI and Spawn start stepping up right onto a ward. At the same time, Zyko goes in. It's forcing him to use his flash. Mistimed, unfortunately. Spotted Rosethorn a bit too late.
You know, in Call of Duty, there's something called COD timing, where, it's just unlucky timing comes through. And it happens a lot more than you think it was. We're going to call that League timing, because they have the vision, and Zyko just unluckily went in at the wrong time. and it cost him his flash. But Rosethorn showing up will allow his bot lane to get the wave in. They don't have to worry about a freeze, and they can get the recall off that they are looking for. Onat, on the other hand, he's been getting the better of Get Back so far in this laning phase. It's a good look there for O-Nation.
Didn't go for the chase there, even with the flash being down from Get Back. Onat didn't have the mana to finish up that kill. Still, though, it will be a recall coming out from Get Back as the wave stays rather stuck in the middle. Teleport for both of our mid laners to go ahead and continue the scraps that we're getting.
Right, scraps, but no kills coming through here. Although we are seeing Soul get that lane pressure we were talking about top side. They can set up Team Fish Taco well for that first Rift Herald coming up in a few minutes. It will be an important objective for them. We'll see if they'll be able to set it up. Maryville definitely have tools of their own to be able to contest that early game objective. Right now, we're seeing the support roams. Mid has been a really popular spot for our engaged support champions, but at this point, NXI, Zyko, they just wanted to look. They're just making sure everything's chill, and we're going back to lane.
No, that's the thing, though. If we do get towards the phase where we're fighting over neutral objectives, and I haven't seen too big of a lead acquired by Maryville University, I really do like Team Fish Taco's odds, and it's because of this man right here, Soul, who's trying to survive a gank coming in. Odd Orange, well-timed. They're looking to take down the flamethrower. It's burning Niles down, but he ran out of gas, and Odd Orange gets first blood.
Wow, almost managed to turn it around, but it is a good gank there from Odd Orange onto the top side. This top jungle is such a big strong point for this team. You see them often get these leads for themselves on the top side. Josh likes to bring up a lot how these two, the way they play, are a big part of why you cannot duo queue in Masters Plus anymore, because that's what they would do, and people like them. Gank top lane over and over again, get these insane leads while padding your pockets with cash.
The joined at the hip, man. And they're attacking the right lane to do that. You want to set Soul behind, because I was just bringing up those neutral objective fights that can come through. If Soul has a lead, if Soul has itemizations going on, that AP equalizer will ruin your day. It makes it hard to fight front to back if you have a well-placed equalizer in the fight.
Yeah, and I will say, even gold, I favor Maryville. The team fight tools later on in the game, they're too strong. So plays like that need to be rolling for Team Fish Taco if they want to get themselves that win. For the moment, we've seen some looks. Rosethorn, worth noting, is level 6. Has access to the Glacial Prison. He is bot lane. A kill for Spawn would go a great way for Team Fish Taco's early game.
Eyeballing very carefully, trying to get that timing in. Remember, Zyko doesn't have flash anymore. Headbutts onto a minion to get some extra space, but the ultimate from Rosethorn puts the cow on lockdown. Now, Odd Orange looking to throw an ultimate right back. How far is on the healthy side? NXI jumps forward. It's not enough, though. He'll have to step away. He lives by the skin of his teeth. A close exchange in the latter half of that fight.
Wow, really back and forth there. Everyone's gonna have to back off and lick their wounds, but it's Team Fish Taco who pick up a kill there, and it's huge for them to be able to make it happen. You see it too. I like that Rosethorn holds on to the ultimate, make sure he hits Zyko, who doesn't have the flash, forcing it out from Scary Jerry as well. But even with the Ghost, even with the Nature's Grasp, is NXI, the new role swap, finding the angle to keep Team Fish Taco from giving anything back.
I don't think anyone saw that hook coming. Odd Orange
Did
tried
the
to flash to
make
go
him
forward.
miss an auto too?
I'm not exactly
I think that's
sure.
what happened. Because you A-click, and by putting the ward down, it might have been, well, either way.
Called for God, top side. Zyko has roamed up. Equalizer goes down once again, but it is misery for Soul, who's going to take that beating very slowly but surely. One more. Bramble Smash. There you go. Odd Orange will take down Soul, but the rest of Team Fish Taco now roaming on up to get some vengeance in the name of Soul. On to Odd Orange. They'll chop down onto the tree. NXI gets the kill.
And what a rotation. They brought the whole team up here, not just for the Rift Herald, but also to secure the response to that top side gank. And it's Taco who are coming out on top, not just in gold, but of course they will get that neutral objective we set up. So important for them to be able to grab it. And we did get confirmation. The ward drop from NXI did save his life, getting Scary Jerry to auto that instead. Well played, NXI.
And well played for Team Fish Taco over onto this top side. even if Soul goes down, which does hurt, you know, it does hurt his laning nonetheless, he still got 2 assists off of that, so a little bit of pity gold onto the back of it. At the same time, Team Fish Taco also get the Rift Herald, so it's a little bit of swing of momentum into their hands.
It's a good start. They need to get value out of it. That is the next step here. And you got to imagine, with all this topside attention, Taco had the perfect opportunity to go bot side. Even though you're getting gold onto Niles by constantly ganking, getting gold on him and Odd Orange, I question sometimes whether or not it is worth it, because the sacrifice on the other side of the map ends up being costly. We saw a perfect example of that, I mean, literally yesterday, Deserex, against Cincinnati Fear, where so much gold ended up going over to Manui because Maryville was so focused on getting gold onto Niles. Even if he was on the Olaf, it wasn't enough for him to carry. So now Odd Orange has to keep an eye on this bot side. You gotta know this is where Taco are looking to focus all their attention.
They are going to have a lot of push into their favor. Spawn did complete that static shiv at the same time. So Team Fish Taco onto this side of the map, as you were mentioning, 45 seconds before the dragon does come down, and we can press for another dragon in the name of Team Fish Taco. Definitely still need it to deal with some of that scaling. Try and set up a win condition of your own.
Now 30 seconds till the next Drake comes through here. Taco did manage to get the first one, so dragon stacking. Another win condition they can play for, and hello.
All right, headbutt pulverize onto Onat, but you don't have get back close enough. The rest of Team Fish Taco waiting in the wings, and control of the river belongs to the fishes.
Yep, for the moment, the hover there saves Onat from having to use any of the summoner spells, and everybody kind of just goes back to their sides of the map here. But now it's Maryville who will take their turn, try to clear out what vision they can, but it's gonna be a little tough here. They have some time because Get Back shoved the wave in, but once Onat clears it, there's gonna be a response available, especially because this bot lane of Taco, you can see them moving up to the mid lane.
I do like the idea of Maryville right here. If they are to force a situation where they can take away one of these dragons, it would hurt Team Fish Taco in the long run. As a reminder, you brought it up, E, that Maryville have some great scaling for the late game. This front line is going to be nearly unkillable. So Team Fish Taco, they need every resource to give them their own edge in the late game. Oh, here we go, Zyko. Now going forward, tries to find Spawn, but there's 3 members of Team Fish Taco willing to scrap back. Nature's Grasp lands onto the bottom lane. Teleport comes through from Get Back. Spawn is running low, but no one can get onto him. Maryville University will be able to get some sums, but not much else.
But that's good. That's the response I wanted to see from Maryville. Paying attention to that bottom side for Odd Orange to make sure Rosethorn doesn't get the gank off that he's hoping for. Doesn't get more plate gold over into Spawn's pocket, because he's going to be that big damage dealer. We talked about his ability to team fight and that killer instinct, even when he's not playing Kaisa, is something we've been praising him for in summer. So Maryville setting him behind, very, very good.
Maryville knowing where their plan of attack should be. So we take a look at the lanes right now to see how everything's going. I mean, actually, we can't even take a look at that because Get Back is getting ganked in the mid lane. Rosethorn just shows up. There it is, a rocket jump to safety, and Get Back burning the flash.
You don't get the opportunity. Maybe you're hoping for to drop the eye, but now that NXI's here, you're feeling really confident about that one. So it's not gold onto Spawn, but Onat playing Jace, he's going to be able to put a lot of damage out as well. So getting extra gold in his pocket definitely doesn't feel bad for the side of Taco. And just in time too, because plates are about to fall. And Eric, I want to point to something that I noticed that we had to stop because of the fight in the bot lane.
What's up?
Team Fish Taco, they got a pretty good roll on Dragon Souls. It's the Mountain Soul that they're playing for. They're going to get resistances from the individual breaks. They're going to get the shield when they pick up the soul. That is definitely priority 1 for this Taco roster, and it's got to feel good in a game that's so important for you to win. Remember, everybody, Taco, they got to go 2-0 if they want to get that 8th spot in playoffs. Maryville, they only need to win 1.
8th and final spot that's remaining. Everything else, already settled. Maryville University, ultimate into the bottom lane spawn, able to pop the cleanse, followed through.
Teleports!
And now teleports as the snare is going to be found by NXI. Shock Blast goes through, and there it is, the equalizer. The equalizer, it's burning, it's turning the health bars of Maryville to nothing as Onat chases onto Scary Jerry, content with grabbing Zyko. Get Back will return one. Over the wall comes in with the rocket jump, but Rosethorn wants it, and so does Onat. Goes back over the wall, there's distance made, and Niles will set it up with a knock-up. But Get Back is too low to continue the fight, and he's got to be careful from the Shock Blast. It will go on cooldown now. Niles burns the flash. Ooh, the stun comes out, and Onat will put the hammer down onto Niles.
So many kills going back and forth, and we're just going to immediately see what went on here. Rosethorn, you can see on the minimap, took a bit of a roundabout route, but his bot lane lasted long enough for him to come in here with the impact. He held onto that ult for so long, and you can see that gold Taco have earned, doing them a lot of favors in this fight. It's a 5v5, surprisingly early on into the game, split up in multiple directions, but it ends up with a lot of gold going into both sides. And I think Taco picking up that last kill, not onto Get Back, but to Niles, was something that put it in their favor just a little bit.
And Team Fish Taco fighting tooth and nail right now to ruin Maryville University's day. And they need performances right out the gate to not end up in that promotion tournament. Again, it's got to be a 2-0, and Maryville University still feeling the sweat on their brow as well. Hook comes in, as going forward is going to be Team Fish Taco onto Odd Orange and the Jim Bros Nile there. We'll get a triple knock-up that stops Team Fish Taco in their tracks. And there's another one! It stopped the damn blast, but Niles beautifully times the call of the Forge God.
Triple knock-up into 2 easy kills for Maryville University. They're going to get themselves that second Rift Herald, and they get the gold swung right back into their favor. It's small, but remember, with how good their comp is late game, small is all you need. But Get Back, he wants a little bit more than small as he picks up first brick on the bottom side.
Maryville University, a big play, a big win. These players that we just saw with both Niles and Odd Orange, I mean, they synergize so well. They love playing together. You already made the point earlier, but this is on a whole different level, B.
Yeah, and the good call there is from Odd Orange, who is showing up here to cover Niles in the first place. And of course, that incredible call of the Forge God canceled all 3 of their, basically, blast cones to safety. And only 2, or rather only 1 of them, managed to survive. And you saw it. First brick went over to Get Back. So much gold in the swing has turned into a 1.5 gold lead.
And we've heard about the interest of the Gym Bros, both Niles and Odd Orange, that they're not most desiring to get back into the pro space, but they have members who are within the Maryville University roster, such as Scary Jerry, who are still on that pursuit. So for them, it's about raising them up. It's about getting them into a spot where they can be competitive with all these other players that are currently in the league, and making sure that Maryville can continue to be that pipeline that's sending players to tier 2 to tier 1. I mean, we already had APA used to be on Maryville. Same thing with Spyrax. Now Maryville University destroying structures left and right.
They committed all 5, but they definitely got their money's worth. Even though the ult comes through, Zyko can save himself, and that play just got another 1.5k gold in aggregate over to Maryville University. That's the mid-tier 1 and tier 2. So much value out of that Rift Herald that Taco almost secured for themselves had they not been caught out by Odd Orange and Niles.
If you want me to be honest, I actually really fear Maryville losing this match. I do feel like this is more of a must-win than it seems, because I've always felt like Maryville is a confidence-based team. When they start doing poorly, that's when you start to see them kind of fall apart. But right now, that confidence isn't shattered. Call the Forge God right onto spawn. A great knockup followed up by Zyko. But here come the teleports. Equalizer goes down, and it's a kill picked up on the name of Team Fish Taco. They return fire.
Not only that, they managed to be the ones to secure the kill. They come out ahead, even though it cost them both of their teleports. So Taco do manage to swing back, get something into their pockets, and Spawn continues to stay alive and continues to farm. We talk about item spikes, especially for double marksman composition. Maryville, they're getting very close to theirs, especially on Scary Jerry's side. And for Spawn, as the AP variant Kaisa with the static shiv, you're really waiting for Nashor's Tooth before you can really do any serious damage. And once he gets that through, that will be that opening for Taco to be able to potentially get a fight win in their favor. It's going to be hard because this gold lead is not doing them any favors.
Not doing them any favors, but what could do them a favor is the dragon that will spawn in 3 minutes. Reminder, they have 3 Drakes as Dragon Soul Point right now. So getting all those defenses, as you had mentioned a little bit earlier, Beatdown, would be huge, making sure that Team Fish Taco can actually stand up with a lot of this late game that Maryville University are bringing.
Not only that, they're going to have to step up in this late game to make it happen. We talked about the same things with Cincinnati Fear in their Game 1 composition. May need to hold that thought. Niles is in trouble.
Yeah, Call the Forge God going out. We'll find a double knockup, but Niles is by his lonesome. And the rest of Maryville, they're headed over towards the Baron. As Niles, he should go down, but will Maryville get the Baron in the process?
Look at how much time he's spending. They have to walk away now. Soul still has access to the ultimate. He can actually chunk them out a lot. This could be a turnaround here.
It's taken.
Oh,
it's a kill in the bottom lane, and Maryville University with the bait laid. The trap is sprung, and Turo Baron buff goes to Maryville.
So much gold up front, right off the bat there. Taco will respond with the kill and the mid and bot tier 1 turret. It is some extra gold back into their pockets here, but man, this is a tough scenario for Taco to be in. Every time they make something happen, it is a sacrifice that Maryville happily capitalize on.
And a big capitalization with that Baron buff, grabbing it this early. That was basically right on the spawn, and it keeps the money coming. Yeah. Everyone on Maryville doing rather well. It's Onat who's currently leading for Team Fish Taco, which still gives some good fighting chances for these mid-game fights. Those shock blasts can rattle Maryville before the fight starts.
They can, but remember, Zyko on the Alistar, level 10 with the Even Shroud. I mean, Niles is 2 items with that Anathema's build. You know that's on spawn, almost certainly. Just tells me that. The poke, you know, it might be a little bit more of tickling, just because you got a lot of resistances to get through here. You got a lot of health bars that you need to contend with. And right now, you have a lot of power to worry about as well, because even though Taco are on their soul point, they've lost all control over this bottom side of the map. They should know that they have to let go of this 4th Drake, and I'm hoping they understand that and trade for something on the other side of the map. There's still that tier 1 turret that they could contend with, and that's some extra gold they surely need.
Because this is a smart setup coming out from Maryville University. Understanding the situation at hand, which is the Dragon Soul point. This will be Dragon Soul for Team Fish Taco. They get early into the river, and it's not just a ward or 2. They're really establishing complete control over this quadrant of the jungle. That's very dangerous for Team Fish Taco to walk up on.
That's right. You're seeing Rosethorn now trying to clear out this wave. He probably needs to be careful, as we see Onat on the other side trying to collect that extra gold, but it is still this posturing towards this bottom side of the map. You know this tier 2 has to go. It's just Taco trying to defend the inhibitor, trying to make sure that Maryville don't take too much. And now we're seeing that rotation. I like the move topside there. Onat to take the turret, and XI to shadow him from the topside jungle of Maryville. You know that this trait isn't yours, so I'm glad Taco are trying to trade elsewhere.
I got worried for a second because I saw Rosethorn hop over a wall. I'm like, don't do it, man. Don't do it. But headed over towards the top side, where at least Team Fish Taco do have some presence and pressure. But this is starting to get brutal now because the scaling is coming more and more online for Maryville University. If you just saw Scary Jerry right there, Trinity Force completed.
Yep, get back. He has that. He has his mythic item as well, that Navori Quick Blades. 2 big spikes, and for a champ like Triss especially, it only gets harder with the more items she builds up. So Taco are still in the frying pan right now, and it's going to be really hard for them to cool down what Maryville have been working on in the earlier parts of this game. It's a 2,000 gold lead, but it is in all the right places. So at this point, it comes down to execution, much like we were asking for from Cincinnati Fear in Game 1 of the first series. A comp where you don't have advantages at this stage, where you really have to step it up if you want to overcome it, because the cards are all in Maryville's favor.
Maryville getting closer and closer to securing that 8th seed. And how much could it really mean for them in the big picture? I think it's a lot, considering some of the history that Maryville have had and the tournaments that they played in the past.
Wow.
You know, just this last one, we had Sealall, where Maryville were a big favorite to win the entire thing and just came up shy.
Yeah.
To lose out right now would be absolutely devastating to the morale of the team. As we said, it's very confidence-based for them.
For sure.
So getting this win, very important for Maryville.
I mean, this is a team that has been at the top of collegiate, and not just league, but multiple titles across the last couple of years. Really big with their esports program overall. They're over at Maryville University. They've done some pretty great things here in Challengers League. Yeah, if you ever get to sit down with Clerky, like, really cool to get to pick this guy's brain, hearing about his philosophy, how they talk about accountability and things like that, working towards the improvement of their players. It's a really big thing over there at Maryville. And of course, it would be a huge thing for MU to get the win here. They just need one to get into playoffs, and we said it in Champ Select. They've done some pretty crazy things here in Challengers League. One more crazy thing is all we need to see here, because how crazy would it be if we get to see them again next year?
Our first collegiate squad ever in NACL, now fighting it out with Team Fish Taco. Zyko only gets one headbutt pulverized onto Rosethorn. The tanks not willing to fully engage onto each other. Team Fish Taco positioning over towards the middle right now. Call the fortune coming out from Niles. Rosethorn is by himself, and look at that. Maryville just crowd right onto him, even with the equalizer going down. Sure, it's beautifully placed, but no one can follow up on that. Niles, however, jumps right onto NXI, the Ram, putting the horns right into his backside, and it's a kill for Niles.
And that's a 2-0 for the side of Maryville. It's looking like they're going to do it, Eric. 2,000 up is still their lead, and you can just see it time and time again. That long-range engage, the Ash Arrow, the Ornn ulti, sets you up for the easiest fights of your life. And we can just see this one again from the replay. Like, watch Scary Jerry gets Onat, and from this point on, it is just so easy to keep that pressure on. No matter what Rosethorn does, he is just a lamb to the slaughter. As we're going to watch NXI fall a couple seconds later. But right now, here you go. It's Baron again. You're so strong on the map. You might as well just do it again.
They're so close to claiming it right now. They're so close to claiming that 8th seed, to not having to play in that promotion tournament, and they have another tool in their hands. It's the Turo Baron buff. But a reminder, Team Fish Taco are still at that sole point. So while Maryville were grabbing the Baron, Team Fish Taco are heading bot side.
Still, the time is not in their favor. You look at the timer on this Drake, it is more than a minute. That's plenty of time for Maryville to clear out whatever measly vision Taco are going to be able to set up. And you can see it right there now. It isn't a lot. They're going to do their best to dig themselves in, see if they can get a pick. But it's so hard for them to be able to actually do so, because now they are so far in the hole. Get Back and Scary Jerry are so strong, especially with Get Back hitting item number 3. This next dragon almost certainly isn't yours, barring a miracle.
Maryville University right onto the dragon, on the timer. The moment you see that 45-second mark click, they start setting up, and they start denying vision. Team Fish Taco. The thing is, I feel like they have to make plays. I feel like they have to try, because it's only going to get worse as time goes on. It's only going to be a steeper hill to have to climb. The scaling, you got the Tristana. The Tristana is doing fantastic. You said it, B. 3 items. Even Scary Jerry with his Trinity Force completed and the Kraken Slayer almost done with that 3rd item. Maryville are feeling themselves right now. They're feeling the lead. They're feeling the momentum. They're feeling their spot solidified for 2024 spring.
And it's looking like they have almost locked that one in, Eric. Remember why Maryville were in dire straits, at risk of losing that top 8 spot that they had for so long. It was because of a lose streak, a tragic one. It's been 12 games in a row. They're looking to not make it 13. A great early
Unlucky
game
number.
coming through from Maryville University. That's right, it's an unlucky number. They could never let that happen. And they're looking to be not only the first collegiate squad to compete in NA Tier 2, but of course, the first one to do it 2 splits in a row, guaranteed.
And you'd be hard-pressed to find a team that has more camaraderie than Maryville. These guys work out together, they eat together, they play together, and right now together at the door of Team Fish Taco. A turret goes down, and Team Fish Taco are only watching as Maryville takes structures.
There's literally nothing you could do. You are so powerless as the side of Taco. And now with that Turo Baron buff, they just got so much value. They have more gold to spend. And of course, insult to injury, Eric, the Ornn items are out in force. Coming out from Niles. Several thousands gold worth of stats on top of the gold lead you already see is coming through from Maryville University.
Do you hear that?
Well, what is that?
You hear that? I think that's a hammer that I'm hearing. The nails in the coffin slowly being applied by Maryville University. As you said, those Ornn items are online. Everything is online for Maryville University. They're just waiting for the next major reason to step up and claim victory.
Really small consolations for the side of Taco. You see Spawn has the Ludens, so those Void Seekers, they're going to do a lot of damage from long range. You have Onat, who's also on item 3, working towards 4. These are big spikes. It does mean you have a lot of poke to play with, but as long as Niles and Odd Orange are soaking it up, Zyko too, it's not going to end up being that valuable. It's a numbers advantage at this point that you have to play for as Taco. You got to isolate somebody in the side lane, or look for a moment to get a TP play onto someone in hopes that you can get something.
Yeah, because even with the 5v5 being as powerful as it is, thanks to having that Rumble there, it's not doing that much damage, man.
No.
Soul did just get an upgrade onto his Equalizer right now. We'll have the final level onto it. So one more big boost to try and get Team Fish Taco ready. Nice use of the Hourglass now from Onat, but it's Rosethorn who will get rooted on up. The tower under attack. Missile going to land out of spawn. But still, how healthy are Maryville University to continue the pressure?
This is the best look that Taco might have. I mean, 3 big team fight ultimates are gone from the side of Maryville. You can see them. They're pushing their luck just a little bit, seeing what they can get, but ultimately, it is going to be nothing. They saved their top inhibitor turret, but it's only for the moment here, Deserex.
Yeah.
The longer this game goes, not only do more Ornn items come through, of course, the soul that keeps being denied from Taco, it's making Maryville even tankier. Imagine Ornn, Maokai, oh my god, man, Alistar with 2, 3, 4 Mountain Drakes buffing up their stats.
Yeah, you come in with the knife, and the knife is just gonna bend from how much of a brick wall these guys are. And there's really not much left in the gas tank for Team Fish Taco to respond to the pure power of Maryville University. This collegiate squad, the first one to get into NACL, who are currently fighting to get that last ticket to playoffs. They need one win, 2.6k in the lead right now. We're 31 minutes into this. Team Fish Taco, their comp is slowly falling off, but Maryville is so alive. They're breathing right now. The Kings in the north are waiting for the spawn of Baron.
And that Baron is going to be what puts the closes the book on this game. What's going to lock Maryville into playoffs. That top A spot, the final spot that you highlighted, Eric. All they need to do, they can force a fight. That's the thing that's so dangerous here. But the teleport coming through means Taco, they might be looking to do something instead.
In position is Rosethorn. Does have an angle on to get back, but you always got to be careful about that. Rocket Jump does ruin your day. Niles now posturing forward alongside Zyko, the bodyguards of Maryville University, ready to hold the door and boot Team Fish Taco right on out. Team Fish Taco still playing forward nonetheless, still trying to get that poke right onto Maryville members, but brilliantly timed is Maryville University catching Rosethorn out of position. Equalizer is burning. Scary Jerry will grab one. No more take for Team Fish Taco. Maryville University with the poke coming through, they realize they don't want to take this any steps further. They're going to play this careful. They're going to play it calculated. They're happy with the kill they got.
Remember, Niles and Getback have teleport. They can just TP right back away because now the Dragon Soul is on the line here for Taco.
Team Fish Taco, it's something they've been desperately looking for, that Dragon Soul. Spawn onto the backline, he's looking for Scary Jerry, he's not able to get him. Over the wall comes Getback and he shuts him down! And the knockup from Niles, it lands flush right onto Onat, and O-Nation is currently in flames, and Niles is the one who lit the fire! He will flash out, Odd Orange picks up one onto Soul, and the chase as the gates open up to get the acceleration for Onat, but misses out onto NXI, and here comes Odd Orange, a twisted his Vance, gets the flash from NXI and leaves the Dragon forfeit to Maryville.
And that's the 3rd Mountain Drake in a row. Oh my god! The arrow!
Across the map, Scary Jerry lands it. Would have been nice if someone could follow through. Nonetheless, Dragon for Maryville University. 3 mountains on these tanky boys, and there's a Baron next.
And that Baron is theirs. Deserex, it is theirs by birthright as they are looking to close things up here. You can see Taco are getting close with some of the plays that they have been making, some of the poke that they've been landing, but as soon as Maryville get on top of you, there is no way to shake them off. Roselord, of course, trying to do his best, maybe go for a steal, but Zyko playing goalie so very well. That's another Turo Baron buff for Maryville University.
Turo Baron buff again for MU. Now having that, it's looking like doom and gloom because Team Fish Taco, you can't wait anymore for Dragon Souls. 5.4k, get back a strong lead. Even with Onat having what he has, he can't really stick around that long in these fights. He can't really land that poke that he wants in these fights. Maryville University, just pull the trigger.
Yeah, I mean, we want to talk about 15.5k for both of these mid laners. I mean, the value is just not the same when you compare a champ like Tristana to one like Jace, especially in the comps we're seeing here right now. And this is what I was talking about. You can see what Team Fish Taco are doing. They're waiting in fog, trying to catch people out. Niles is mid. No Ornn ulti, no beefy health bar. But they don't like the angle that they see. One misstep is the end of Taco's playoffs hopes. So they're playing this one careful, but they can't do nothing if they want to succeed.
They can't just bleed out. That's the big one right now. Plays need to be made, they need to be found, they need to be committed as an entire group from Team Fish Taco. 5.4k once again still the lead for Maryville University as they walk up on the inhibitor, still exposed over in the bottom lane right now. Niles in the mid lane calling over Zyko to be the bodyguard for this group and escort them from the bottom to the mid lane. Team Fish Taco still hesitating to find any level of engage on the Maryville University.
And man, this is getting tense, Eric. Bottom inhibitor is down again. Maryville, after a heartbreaking loss with an 8k gold lead yesterday, they want to play this one careful. They want to play this clean, but too much time could make an opening here for Spawn, who's building towards the death cap, but they want to move now.
Brood onto 2, Call the Forge God goes out, they want to find Onat. Rosethorn trying to protect him, but Zyko hops right on in. He will drop in the process as Spawn grabs the kill. One down is going to be Maryville University, but the inhibitor falls for Team Fish Taco, and Maryville will walk out.
It's not the end of the game though, and Spawn, he can keep throwing out these Void Seekers.
Be tough.
He's got a lot of damage to contend with, unless he's hitting Niles, of course. But there's a big opportunity here for Taco to walk people down. Onat has teleported. Man. This could be the angle. Look at the damage.
Spawn goes in. He's looking for Niles. Niles still holding on, though. And the chase from Team Fish Taco, it's too tough to actually find.
Wow.
You lost the ultimate for Soul. He doesn't have the equalizer. You don't have the Sejult as well. So it was a very hard chase to pull off. Maryville can walk back to base.
And I gotta say, this is an interesting thing with the Rumble changes on 13-12. The cooldown that we knew to be incredibly low, multiple casts per team fight, was no longer available on top of the changes that made all his other abilities powerful. This is the first time I've actually seen that have an impact on the game, because this is one of those opportunities where you kind of wish you had that Rumble, where you could cast ult after ult after ult, because Taco, they need everything they can hope for here in this game, but you can see them clawing, scratching their way back, taking any small chance to make it happen. And something to hope for is the fact that Soul, Rosethorn have stopwatches. They can get a little more mixy in this next fight that comes through, and Spawn, once he gets that death cap, those Void Seekers, if they hit anyone that's not Niles or Zyko, they are going to do insane amounts of damage, and that's the small way back into this Taco has.
Team Fish Taco, they're battered, they're bloodied. Now looking for the killing blow is going to be Maryville University. Knockup lands onto Rosethorn. Rosethorn still holding that line. A hook in from NXI. Equalizer goes through. Gets a bit onto Scary Jerry, a little onto Niles, but not exactly the equalizer you were looking for. Now the poke trying to get utilized out of the side of Team Fish Taco as Maryville University start wandering their way into the jungle. The poke does add up.
You can see it. I mean, again, it doesn't affect Niles. You're just really tickling him at this point. But Taco, they just keep weathering these engages. As people like NXI, like Rosethorn get tankier and tankier, they're able to better create space for the side of Team Fish Tacos. And now, this is Soul for either team. Big team fight tools like the Ornalty are out of the picture. It's do or die for Team Fish Taco.
Yeah, a lot of big ultimates are down, but you still have Odd Orange's Nature's Grasp to throw in the middle of this river, and it does go down. Zyko on one end will follow through with the Nature's Grasp, but can't get over to Rosethorn. The Dragon, 7k health remains. Soul on the back end of it, still waiting for the cooldown of the Equalizer, and Niles almost in position to get the Call of the Forge God, going right off of the cooldown, going after Soul, will get the knock up onto Soul. No, Soul will flash away, and Dragon Soul gets picked up by Maryville University. Soul on the run, Maryville on the hunt, and Soul with a little bit of movement speed will be able to create some more distance, but it's still the big boys right after you, and Dragon Soul to Maryville University.
And this only gets harder. You're relying so much on your poke as Team Fish Taco. Mountain Soul couldn't be better for the side of Maryville. Not only the resistances that 4 individual Drakes give you, but the shield that comes up after not taking damage for a couple of seconds. It's amazing that Taco have made this a 40-minute game, but like we keep saying, this only gets harder and harder to take down members of MU. I mean, small bright spots. Onat is on his last item. He is full build. Spawn has the death cap, so he does a lot of damage, but this is still a very dangerous game for Taco.
Knock upon the Soul, Maryville itching to engage, but now they're playing it a little bit more carefully, giving some respect back to Team Fish Taco because they haven't been able to get that knife into the heart of Team Fish Taco. Yeah. But still, control for Maryville University is over on this Baron side where Baron has spawned, and we've seen it before. Maryville University will not hesitate.
And Maryville University, though, this is a bit more dangerous for them. Remember, Niles' ult is the biggest tool that they have, and if it doesn't get insane value, MU are usually on the retreat. And you can see it, Nature's Grasp is out. Here's the Orcord. Oh, it's canceled!
Oh, Equalizer goes through, and you're able to cancel out the Call of the Forge God, but still, NXI is going to fall, and it's another structure going down because look who's in the base.
He's trying to end the game.
Is going for the back door. Maryville University, they're so close to ending this out. There's only one more ticket left to playoffs, and the Kings in the North are ready to secure it with one more padding of the stats. Get back, we'll put it in, and Maryville University get the last spot for playoffs.
And it was a backdoor double TP to make it happen, and despite Onat's response, they couldn't make it work. Maryville, they were sweating a little bit, but that's it. Top 8, the last playoff spot, it belongs to them.
And a struggle it was over these last couple of weeks for Maryville University. They went on one of the largest loss streaks, and when it mattered most, when they needed to clutch the most, the Kings in the North, Maryville University, get the win to secure them the spot.
One thing I gotta say, for a 41-minute game, these damage numbers are ridiculous. The only one really standing out is Odd Orange here on the Maokai, and you can see how much value he was able to get, not just in the tankiness, but the damage from those saplings. And Maryville, that front-to-back team fighting composition, it came online right on time, and they really never let go of the game from that point.
Maryville University, pat yourselves on the back for a game well fought and a playoff spot well secured. It still is a best of 2, so stakes are still on the line for Team Fish Taco, who will be fighting for seeding coming into the promotion tournament, so they still want to get a win in this game number 2. But we're going to take a moment to throw it over a short break. Before we do, a shout out to our sponsor, Turo. LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car sharing marketplace where you can book just about any car for any occasion. Forget about all those boring rentals at Turo.com. We're going to go catch our breath, and we'll catch you at the Rally Cry halftime show.